Today, we continue talking about old-school GTA games. We're coming from sunny Vice City to San Andreas. I have a big personal story with this game, and I wanted to check out this fantastic world again. Grab something to eat and get comfortable, without long introductions. Let's talk about what was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was all about. Our game starts with Carl Johnson arriving at the Los Santos airport, and we hear a phone call from his brother. Their mother died recently, and Carl got back in the city for the funeral. He gets into the taxi, but gets stopped by the police. Meet officers Tenpenny, Pulaski, and Hernandez. Carl gets out of the car, and police officers cuff him and steal the money from his pocket. It appears that Carl knows the kind servants of the community. They decided to set up a little welcoming party for us. Carl says that he is clean now. He lives in Liberty City and has nothing to do with gangs. Officers fabricate evidence that our protagonist killed an officer at the Los Santos airport. We are on the hook from this point. Brave cops throw our protagonist out of the car on enemy gang turf.
Oh shit, here we go again.
I get on the bike and get down to Carl's old hood. On his way, he reminisces about how this place was his home before he messed everything up. We get in the house and start experiencing hard flashbacks. Carl gets his mother's photo and tries to mourn her. Big Smoke gets out of the kitchen with a baseball bat, thinking that Carl is a burglar. Good thing that old friend acknowledged us. He preaches phrases from some books. We get outside to meet with the rest of the family in the cemetery. Meet Kendall and our older brother, Sweet. The older dude starts to nag Carl for being away for 5 years and running away after their younger brother's funeral. Sweet is not only grumpy, but a hypocrite too. He doesn't like Kendall's Latino boyfriend because he is not from the hood. Carl doesn't mind her Latino boyfriend if he treats his sister right. Sweet gets hysterical and explains that everything has gone to ass. Nowadays, gangs shoot first and ask questions second. It's time to go home, but Ballas's drive-by destroys Big Smoke's car. The boys steal bikes and try to drive away. Ballas' crew tries to finish the job and even manages to throw Carl off the bike. We get to the local intersection, and Sweet decides to distract the car's attention while the rest of the group gets home safely. The bad thing is that Ballas' car comes back, but we are not far away from the hood. They don't risk getting on our turf. Sweet asks when Carl plans to get back to Liberty City, but he's not sure. He sees how everything is messed up. Sweet invites us to drink some beverages and relax with dudes, but our protagonist had a long day. He wants to get some sleep. Meet Ryder. He is the 4th member of our friend group. We will live in our mother's house for the time being. We can see her photo on the walls. Check out this fantastic cat photo as well. The next day, Carl gets a phone call from Sweet. One big Groove Street family split into 3 smaller chunks. Besides, enemy gangs decided to take their chances and try to get a slice of our turf. We need to be careful. Let's visit Ryder. We meet him as he fools around with his gun, and Carl demands some brotherly love from Punk. He says that some corporate pizza place covers Groove Street art. He wants to teach the owner a lesson. We drive Ryder's car, and Carl thinks of getting a haircut from the old owner of the local barber shop. Carl decided to stay with his homies, but Ryder still hasn't forgiven our protagonist for leaving his friends behind. The old man has a solid place, but I don't like other hairstyles. Besides, we're on a limited budget since cops took away all our money. Even Barber roasts Carl for running away to Liberty City. I decide to get some fancy middle-aged beard and get outside to Ryder.
Shit, I told you he was crazy. Man, you jacked up.
He tells us to grab a bite because we look too skinny. Our friend will finish up with his business and join us. The game has a rudimentary role-playing system. Carl's appearance will change if he hits the gym or starts to eat an astronomical amount of food. The prices are decent enough, and I eat a little bit too much. Our main character starts to throw up as Ryder enters the diner. Our friend, in his infinite wisdom, decides to rob a place, placing a semi-sheer pantyhose on his head. The dude over the counter immediately recognizes him and starts blasting. We get on the street, and the game wants me to run away. I have other ideas, and I drive over the pizza dude with Ryder's car. We have a shotgun right now. We get to the hood, and Ryder recommends that Carl drop by Sweet. We meet our brother as he and Big Smoke play some basketball near his house. The brother says that Ballas graffiti is all over the street, while Grove has little to none. It will be a fantastic time to show the world that Carl Johnson is back in town. He hands us a spray can and sends us to deal with our small issue. After some time, Sweet decides to join us. He tells Carl that it's been a hard couple of years, and I think that he tries to apologize for being a douche. We get to the first place, and Sweet teaches how to paint over Ballas's paintings. He tells us to go and paint the other two nearby, nothing too difficult. However, I managed to get lost in 3 similar-looking houses. It took me some time to understand that I had missed the first one. We come back to the car. We arrive at the ballast turf, deal with some of their graffiti, and learn that the guys in purple are our sworn enemies. We get rid of a couple of goons, and the police start to chase us. Good thing that they don't know how to jump, and we get from them just by jumping over the fence. We paint over the last graffiti, and Sweet picks us up. We get back to the hood, and Brother gives a little bit of beer money after learning that cops robbed Carl. Besides, we get respect for the mission. I'll tell you how it works later. Now's the perfect time to hit that subscribe button. Subscribing while you're watching really pushes the video into recommendations. You'll help the channel grow, and I'll be able to make even more of these stories. Right now, Carl gets to his brother's house. We meet the whole crew there. Sweet and Smoke argues about the medicine trade in the hood. Our brother explains that nothing good ever happened with gangs infested with addicts. Big Smoke tries to explain that local medicine traders are not that bad. However, our brother is the boss. He tells Carl and Ryder to show unsanctioned pharmacies that they are not welcome on Groove Turf. We will need reinforcements for the task, so Ryder and Carl drop by their old friend's apartment. It appears that our old friend became a traitor, while once big and mighty. Big Bear cleans in his apartment for the dose. It is a sad scene, but there is nothing that we can do. Ryder and Carl take things into their own hands and beat up the nearest medicine trader. Ryder recognizes the dude. He once ran with the nearby ballast crew. Our friend knows where these dudes hang out. We grab the bat and go to the dealer's place.
Ooh, wait. Man, you can smell a den a mile away.
Our boys introduce themselves and beat up local inhabitants. It was pretty easy, considering that half of the locals were so messed up with the product that they couldn't fight. Boys brag a little bit and come home. Big Smoke and Sweet discuss business as always. Things get heated, but the big dude diffuses everything by offering to grab some food from the local fast food. Carl starts a conversation about how their mother got whacked, but all we have right now are rumors. Some folks say that they saw a green saber driving away. Another theorizes that they probably came for Sweet, but he was not home. The brother himself hasn't noticed anything. The suspicious thing is that Big Smoke discards any rumors.
Can I take your order, please?
Carl, what do you want? You gotta eat to keep your strength up, man.
Hey, I'll take a number 9, fat boy.
Give me a number 9, just like his.
Let me get a number 6 with extra dip.
I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, a number 7, 2 number 45s, 1 with cheese, and a large soda.
We notice Ballas's car as we get from the drive-thru with the order. It seems that our enemies decided to do a drive-by as an answer for our recent activities. We can't let that happen, and the boys start blasting at enemies. Our big friend refuses to shoot by stating that he hates cold food. We managed to get rid of the car, but all the food got messed up. The boys are less than happy that Smoke ate instead of helping out. We drop by Ryder and Sweet by the hood, but Big Smoke now has a fancy house on the ballast turf. The fat dude explains that his aunt died and left him an inheritance. Sounds like a lousy excuse to me, but we will roll with that for now. We get a phone call from our brother, and he tells us to build up some muscle at the local gym. No one will respect us if we don't respect our bodies. We have a gym on the nearby corner. The boys play some table games, and Ryder rage quits. Carl asks what guns we have at our disposal. The cops raided our stash, and we have nothing at the moment. He recommends pulling one of our old contact, the dude called Emmett. While he has a limited supply of guns, and the quality is questionable, it is better than not having guns at all. Big Smoke tells us that we are not too close to that part of the Grove Street family, but he will take us to him. Maybe Carl will figure something out. On their way, Big Smoke continues to tell something about the book. He also says that he admires Carl. He is the leader, the visionary. He asks to remember him when we get to the top. We meet Emmett as his gun malfunctions. Old Emmett points a gun at us, asking who the hell we are. He recognizes Carl for being the Beverly Johnson boy, but he mistakes Carl for Brian. After we settle up who is who, Emmett tells that the Johnson boys can always rely on old Emmett for guns.
Man, look at this old shit.
We manage to get something from the rusted pile. Big Smoke demonstrates some special forces moves, and we shoot some bottles, and learn that if we shoot a car at the fuel tank, it will blow up. We send farewell to our old friend. Smoke continues to speak about some strange things. Nonetheless, we bring Big Smoke to his house. A phone call from Sweet. He starts Carl once more and orders to purchase something at the local clothes store that would show that our boy rolls with Groove Ones more. The place has a decent selection of clothes, and it even took me some time to figure out some decent looking things. After some time, I settle on a simple military jacket and get to our brother's house. Ryder complains that Carl is always the one driving when the group gets somewhere. He doesn't like it one bit. Sweet manages to rub Ryder's ego by telling him that he is a fantastic shooter, while Carl can only drive. It's the reason why he is driving all the time. It convinces our friend, and he agrees that we will be the ones who drive. We get to the ballast territory with a little bit of payback for their failed drive-by. Carl's mission is not to stop and drive. Boys will take care of the rest. We get rid of 3 ballast groups with no problems, but cops started chasing us when we dealt with the 4th. Good thing that the Los Santos Police Department forgets about the car as soon as we paint our vehicle. The boys are really happy. Ryder checks if he is dead, or if anything went as it should have. I wanted to check out Ryder's place, but the mission has strict time limits. We will have to come back here later. We can't find anyone in the sweet house. Our brother calls, telling that another faction from our old friends caught him in his girlfriend's apartment. We need to save our grumpy brother. Enemies encircle him, so we get rid of foes. Right now, I pick up Sweet with his girlfriend and drop them off at his house. This dude shows his hypocrisy once more. He was all over Kendall for dating a non-black person while he rolls with white girls. And we get to Ryder's place. The dude digs all over his backyard looking for the moonshine that he buried some time ago. He needs to drink it before handling some things. A little bird told that this one army boomer has a huge supply of military equipment at his house. We can sneak inside and get away with new weapons for our boys. We wait until sundown and get into the van that our associate has placed for this little gig. We get there, and Ryder wants to assault, but Carl recommends doing everything sneaky, ninja style.
Come out, you old
Shut up!
He can't stop me, you buster, Carl. Oh,
Our friend shows his stealth abilities, and it appears that we will have to do all the work by ourselves. We have 7 minutes before sundown. I like the new mask. Basically, we have a couple of military-grade crates filled with different army stuff. The old man sleeps on the upper floor, and we need not disturb him with noise. I like that the dude has a howitzer pointing at the window. Problems start to appear when I need to reach the boxes on the 2nd floor, just near the old dude. The doors cause sound as well, so it was pretty tricky not to wake the boomer up. Nonetheless, I prevail and bring the last crate to van. We get the vehicle to the lockup, and now we have a burglary side job. We get to Ryder, who decided to make new water. It stinks like hell. Brave officers appear. Tenpenny forces Ryder to give him some new water. The cop's wife loves this stuff. He got down here not to just troll Ryder, but to give a hint on the train that will make an unscheduled stop just down the way. It is a great opportunity to get new equipment for our boys. He also asks not to kill any more respected police officers. Pulaski also jokes that the crime rate has gone up since we came home. We get some nagging about Carl's driving once more, and get to the place. It appears that good-natured officers of the law tipped off every gang in Los Santos about the train. We have to do some cleaning. The train decides to start moving again, and Carl jumps on it and throws the crates with ammo to Ryder. We fill up the car after some time, and cops are less than happy that we turned South Central into a war zone. We have to paint our car to lose them. We get home, and it appears the Ryder started recognizing us as members of the gang once more.
for life, CJ. For life, you heard?
We meet our friend as he relaxes in his backyard. He asks Carl why he's been expelled from school. He answers that Ryder started dealing medicine at the age of 10, or that he beat up some teacher for wearing ballast colors.
No, that ain't it either.
He says that he is too intelligent for academia. He is the real deal, a genius. We have been skimming guns from different places, but who has the biggest stock of guns in the country? The Army. We have a National Guard base nearby. Ryder says that you have to stick by your homies despite how many problems the city throws at you. The base looks tight, and Carl doesn't like that. However, Ryder convinces him that the National Guard is weekend soldiers. They are no match for us. We climb over the fence and take care of the guard. The electronic lock opens up the gate once we shoot it. We get rid of enemies and place our van just outside the hangar. Ryder will cover our backs while Carl loads the boxes using the forklift inside the vehicle. We are getting out of there, but army dudes don't want to let us go away with their whole stock. Ryder throws out some of the crates to get rid of the soldiers. We lose the enemies and bring the van back to Emmett's place. Ryder departs with our two homies. Sweet and Candle argue about her Latino boyfriend.
I'm tired of you acting like you own me. I can see who I want to see.
It just ain't right you seeing some cholo.
Oh, what? A no-good, narrow-minded hypocrite gangbanger telling me what is right and what is wrong? Let me guess, sweet. Senseless killing right, but a boyfriend from the south side wrong?
Some things ain't just meant to happen. I mean, what if y'all have kids? Leroy Hernandez? That don't sound
His
good,
name
girl.
ain't Hernandez.
Well, Leroy Lopez
or
then.
Lopez either, you racist f***. That ain't how moms raised us.
I ain't racist, I just know how they feel about you. And look at you. You dress like a...
Oh, and I guess you two would know what a hooker look like, huh?
You say it like it's a bad thing.
Shut up, Carl.
I really like her. She calls sweet on his hypocrisy. Let's meet her boyfriend, but we need to get a lowrider car that can jump. Good thing that sweet has a mechanic who owes him one. He provides the car. He also says that we can find Latinos at the Unity station. We can modify the car, but right now I have a limited amount of money. Let's talk about that later. Let's visit the meetup. I place all my money on myself and we start competing. I have to press the numpad buttons on my keyboard to hit it in the song rhythm. I need to get more points than the adversary to win. I can't play music due to copyright, but it's not that hard to win. Kendall congratulates us with a win and tries to kiss the Latino dude. Carl is not that happy with him, but the dude seems chill enough. He defends Carl as his friends try to deal with Punk on their turf. His name is Caesar, and he seems to be a nice enough dude. He respects Kendall, so Carl has no problems with them dating. I doubled my cash and got a phone call from Caesar after some time.
Hey, you want to make something, a little money?
Does the Pope shit in the woods?
I don't know, but if you do want a little extra, there's plenty of money to be made racing.
He invites us to races, but no high-end cars, just lowriders. Good thing that I have a car from the previous mission, so we get to Caesar's hood. We meet up with Kendall and Caesar. The winner takes the cash or the car. He also warns that dudes don't like to lose the race. We have to be extra careful. I follow Caesar's car to the meeting place and easily win. The prize is less than I expected, but it is solid enough. Big Smoke and Sweet are gonna meet their old friend Jeffrey from the prison. He is getting out soon, so we want to pick the guy. It appears that our friend wanted to get some street cred, so he did the small things to get himself into jail. The clown sat there for 3 weeks and thinks that he is old school now. We get to the precinct, and the dude fails to impress.
Hey, what's happening with you, Jeffrey?
Hey, man, it's OG Loke, homie. OG Loke.
I really don't like him. The boys joke a little bit, but he is a friend, so we have to take care of him. There's one punk that stole his rhymes. We need to get them back. Jeffrey is out on parole, so he will work as a hygiene technician. Carl and Locke go to check on the dude's house. The dude is inside, and it appears that Locke had homosexual relationships inside as the bottom. Latino dude drops some curses as he runs away, and I almost die when he gets to his friends. We take care of the problem, but Locke can't get back to the Groove Street. He needs to sign up for the job as a part of his parole. We drop him by the local diner. We meet fellow officers as they exit Big Smoke's house. They throw some curses at us, and Big Smoke tells us that they were trying to recruit him. He told the cops nothing. He asks for help to meet his cousin, who is here from Mexico. On our way, it appears that Smoke was bullshitting Carl about the cousin. He just wants to spend some quality time with Vagos. We notice 2 dudes hanging out on their turf, and our 2 boys start joking about them. The guys manage to set our boys down. They tell some nasty things about their mothers. Our big friend is not going to let that slide. Big Smoke gets out of the car and gets one of the dudes acquainted with his baseball bat. Carl gets out of the car and runs for the dude. We get to him and release his eternal soul from the body. We exchange usual pleasantries and go down to Unity Station. We get there and notice a couple of Latinos who board the train. I don't understand why some people had problems with this mission. I finished it up on the first try. This time, we go to Smoke, and he hides behind the car in the garage. We are going downtown to get into some heavy things, including Russian mafia. Smoke will take care of business while Carl looks at the local cuties. Carl can't get the break. As Smoke starts to yell for help, it appears that everything has gone wrong, so we need to help our friend. We shoot our way, but the Russians refuse to give up even after we get out of the place. It takes us some time and multiple kills, but we manage to lose the tail. I'm tired of Big Smoke shenanigans. Let's hit the gym. It takes me some time to build up a fantastic physique. Additionally, we can learn a new fighting style after winning the sparring match against the local champion.
Come on, punch! Thanks, homie. Straight. You gonna hate this.
Throughout the city, you can see these dudes. I call them my own personal piggy bags. They drop a decent amount of cash after I do good community work and help eliminate the illegal medicine trade. I got decent cash, so let's change the hairstyle, get some tattoos, and change overall style. I think that I look magnificent. Carl memes on Locke's occupation. The raper asks to bring a van filled with sound equipment that just passed through the place for the beach party. Locke would need it for his album presentation. He offers to go with CJ and show some freestyle beats to new people, but Carl can't stand Locke's performance. He volunteers to go on his own. We get to the beach, and the party is in full swing. We show fantastic moves and get access to the van driver's seat. I don't know why, but the girl started panicking that I was trying to steal the truck and jumped out of the truck. I bring the track to one of the warehouses. Back in the bistro, Locke cleans the bathroom and notices that one of the customers is sitting in the booth. He starts performing his beats. He performs it for a couple of seconds, but the dude gets out and tells that his songs suck. He says that he needs to get some better rhymes. Jeffrey asks to steal the rhyme book from Matt Dog's mansion. Carl would do anything just to force Locke to shut up. We get to the place and begin a stealth section. It appears that we are the stealth game now. The guards have a routine, and we need to avoid them in the dark places around the interior. The game doesn't punish us for failing the stealth. I want to be a ninja, just to show you how to play it properly. We get deeper in the mansion and see that the guards have a fantastic time. One plays some retro video games, while another gets acquainted with the bar. We slip past them and get the rhyme book. I tried to find another exit from this huge place, but the doors on the other side are blocked. I have to backtrack to get out. We bring a rhyme book to Locke. Carl comes into the fast food place and asks the manager where we can find Locke. He doesn't understand initially, but after some time tells that Jeffrey has been promoted to appliance technician. The old one called in sick, so Locke got a promotion. He is in the back cleaning the fryer right now. He is fantastic as always and yaps all the time. Matt Dog's manager does some damage control and names Locke a plagiarist. Our friend wants to remove the dude from the equation. We catch up with the manager's drive and steal the car. We meet up with other boys and move to the pickup place in a column. The manager gets in our car and we take a scenic route. Security guards try to save the dude, and the girl yells horribly. The manager tries to bribe Carl, but he still sends the dude to swim for a little bit. Good thing that he can't swim. Someone left this bike specially for me. Such a kind soul. Officers of the law call Carl, and in their usual way, tell us to meet them at the local donut place. In the meantime, Locke can't take it at all, so he quits. He tells Carls that he wants to set up a big party before cops put him in the can for ignoring the conditions of his parole. We get to the house party, and Broken Mike doesn't forbid Jeffrey from rapping. The old crew can't stand the music. We get outside, and one of our homies drives up to us, saying that Ballas is ready to hit us hard. We set up defenses and stand our ground for our hood. Everything goes good, and the boys get back to the party. Sadly, Locke is not that tired. The next day, Carl gets to the cops. Brave servants of the community hang out in the local donut shop. Tenpenny wants to set everything straight. He says that he can shit on Carl from such a height that our protagonist will think that it's a god who took a crap. They ask Carl to deal with one of their acquaintances who doesn't like mutual partnership. Tenpenny doesn't want this punk to leave the neighborhood, even in the box. We get some Molotov cocktails and get rid of the security outside. I had some problems throwing directly at windows, but it became easier after gangbangers almost killed me. The innocent girl cries for help. Carl doesn't have brighter idea than to try and help her. The direct path is blocked by the fire, so we get a fire extinguisher in the kitchen. The building starts to crumble, so we have to find an alternative way. I lose the girl a couple of times, but manage to get her out. Carl gets his small reward. The girl lives on Groove Street, but likes a dangerous life. She has been hanging around with the Latino crew. We drop her off at her house and can go on dates with her. The dating system will have a big impact on the game a little bit later. We will talk about it then. Back to cops. Tenpenny says that he likes the status quo. It appears that Ballas became smart all of a sudden. They started cutting deals with other crime organizations, building up their street abilities. Purple dudes are especially interested in cheap guns from Russians after the fall of the wall. A cop doesn't like it if one gang has an advantage over another. He sends Carl to the meeting place down in the docks to take care of the little exchange. The place is full of Russian mafia fools. They also have electronic locks on the garage doors. I manage to crawl from one of the sides and get rid of smug business dealers. Carl gets to the central weapons store. We have yet another gaming mechanic in place. Carl needs to start getting our territories back from enemy gangs. We trigger the gang war, survive 3 waves, and conquer the place. Now we can see members of our gang walking around and chilling. Back on Groove Street, Sweet Sweet grabs the boys to launch a retaliatory attack during the funeral ceremony. Carl doesn't like the idea, but Ballas hasn't allowed us to pay our respects at the beginning of the game. Now it's time for the payback. We can hire members of our gang to join us during the mission. We get 2 guys and go to the cemetery. Our group hops over the fence. We wait until the big shot from Ballas arrives. Enemies notice us, and we have to show how Groove Street handles business. Carl's task is to find a dude called Kane and make him sorry for even messing with us. We get rid of enemies, change the color of the car to get rid of cops, and come back on the hood. The boys are hanging out at our brother's house and watching some high-quality male content. The brother explains that all Groove Street families are going to meet up in the local hotel to unite our gang into one big organization. No more minor squabbles amongst green-colored gangsters. We need to stand together if we ever want to hold our ground. The boys arrive at the car and head to the Jefferson Hotel, while Ryder traditionally whines about Carl's driving abilities. Sweet gets inside, and the boys chit-chat a little bit. Police appear and try to bust the whole thing. We can't allow cops to get our brother, so Carl jumps out of the car and makes his way inside. Big Smoke tries to convince our protagonist to get back inside the car, but he is not going to leave his brother behind. Ryder yells that everyone is for himself, and they depart. The police special unit launches an attack on the place. The shotgun excels in tight spaces. Besides, the hotel rooms have healing remedies. We find our brother deep inside. Carl says that Ryder and Big Smoke ran away, and we have to get out of this place on our own. We fight our way to the roof and take down the enemy chopper. Our friends come back, and we drive away from the pursuit. We blow up multiple enemy vehicles, and one poor dude gets into a bad place. Our car drives through the billboard and lands on the hauler filled with petrol. It explodes, and cops assume that we are dead. The boys managed to jump out of the car before it crashed, so we scattered to be less suspicious to the cops. Back home, Sweet does some leadership work inspiring the grunts for the upcoming fight. He also apologizes to Carl for being in pain in the back for a couple of days. We are going to cause some problems for the Ballas gang at the local highway intersection. Carl receives a phone call from Caesar as he leaves the house. Candle's boyfriend says that they have to meet right now. He has something to show us. Carl says that he has some things to take care of, but Caesar really recommends that we get to him. We get to the place and notice some Ballas fools hanging around the warehouse. Nothing too suspicious in the beginning. However, we see Ryder and Big Smoke next to cops exiting the garage. The boys roll out the green Saber, the one that was spotted after the murder of Carl's mother. Caesar tells that he is sorry, but rumors was going around the hood, so he decided that Carl needs to know. Our protagonist thanks the dude, but recalls that Sweet are going on beef with Ballas. That might be a trap. He asks to place Kendall into safe space and drives to his brother. He tries calling, but he doesn't answer. We arrive at the place and notice that Sweet is barely alive. He tells Carl to save his skin, but our protagonist has some objections. We fought off Ballas. Honestly, I died a couple of times due to blowing up enemy cars that rammed straight into our defensive lines. I managed to fight off an enemy gang, but cops show up and Carl gets arrested. Carl hears the cops' voices as he struggles with a bag on his head. He begs them to remove it because he can't breathe. Keepers of Peace dragged a car in the middle of nowhere to breathe the fresh air. We get out of the car and Carl gets uncuffed. Our brother is alive and relatively healthy. He is being treated in the prison hospital. Cops want a small favor. The federal authority hid a key witness in the Tenpenny case in a hut on the nearby mountain. Dude was crooked as they get, but he started to rat on everyone once internal affairs caught his hand in a cookie jar. Good-natured police officers need our help to get rid of him. Besides, we need to bring proof that he has been dealt with. I got a gun in the local gun shop and started climbing the mountain. It was easier than I expected. He lives in the middle of the lovely forest, protected by the federal agents. I get rid of them, and the target tries to leave. I blow him up, but it's a big problem. There is nothing to recognize the target for. Thus, I failed the assignment. The second time, I ram into him a couple of times and forced to get stuck. Assignment is completed, and I can go to the trailer. It's our home for the time being. We get a call from Caesar and ask him to get our sister out of Los Santos. He says that he has a cousin who lives nearby. We should meet at the local diner. I got a phone call from Sweet on our way to the meeting place. He is being a sarcastic piece of work who says that everything is messed up. Carl promises to get him out of there, but Sweet is not convinced. Let's meet the cousin.
Do you want some, fatso? You big stick of Yankee piece? I seen fucking Unis with more balls than you. What the you want?
Nothing. I'm looking for a friend of mine's cousin.
Come on,
Mexican
bitch.
guy.
Get off.
He ain't here.
You? But Cesar said you was a real man.
Crazy.
Lady, I'm a God-fearing, peace-loving man of the people.
Whatever, asshole. Let's go.
Damn, relax, baby.
Where's her car?
Where's yours?
Ladies don't drive themselves. That's what men are for.
Oh my goodness. Thanks, Caesar. Appreciate this, homie.
She lists a couple of potential heists, but we don't have a concrete list of how we should complete robberies. I go to the local gas station. It is the closest one. The girl tries to rob the cashier's place, but the glass produced by Max Payne Company withstands shotgun shots with no problems. When the initial plan failed, she decided to steal the truck with a fuel cistern. The owners try to save their gasoline. I decided to get out of the car and deal with them, but they rolled over Catalina. Let's try it once more. This time, I just ran away from dudes in Vinewood Hills. Our sweet couple brought the cargo to their friend. Two dudes ram into the local gas station and blow up. We bring the haul to Catalina's friend, and he pays us for it. The dude offers additional work if Carl ever needs to make a quick buck. The girl shares the spoils and drives away. We get a decent enough reward. I purchased a small apartment in one of the towns just to have access to a wardrobe. Let's change our clothes a little bit. We get a call from an old-sounding dude who yaps some strange things. He says that Tenpenny gave him our number and told us to meet at the local motel. We got to the place. Our friend gets himself comfortable.
Yo, Carl. What up, kid?
This old hippie is the truth. He will provide Tenpenny with a stock of the finest product to set up one do-gooder who has cop's ass. We will have to pay Truth for the product, and he has one additional request.
Namaste, Carl.
We get to the non-politically correct farm, and locals are not too happy seeing a black man. We steal the harvester and do a scene similar to the old cartoon from the Soviet Union. We bring the machine to the Truth farm. The old man thanks Carl for bringing peace back to his valley. Caesar calls and gives bad news. His gang is destroyed and disbanded. There is a price on his head, and maybe Kendall too. Carl convinces him to rent out a trailer in the countryside. We get to meet them. Kendall is happy to see Carl, but Caesar is pissed. He wants to roam down home and kill a couple of medicine dealers himself. Carl tells that he will get himself killed if he comes back home, and Kendall is not going to lose him over some macho mood swings. Carl still can't get his mind around the fact that Smoke is behind all of the street trade. Kendall calls his story about his aunt bullshit. He sends a truck full of cash to San Fierro and gets a huge cargo of white to Los Santos. We leave the place and get a call from a fantastic woman.
Where'd you been at? Why don't you call, eh?
Well, I was just about to call you, but...
Liar! You've been hanging out with those sticky...
No. If you just let me...
Just silence! Get up here! We've got places to rob!
Look, I'm in the middle of some shit right...
It appears that we will have to work with Catalina for the time being. She places our dude on the knees and forces him to apologize for calling her names that would demonetize my little video. After some convincing, she agrees to continue robbing places. She tells that she loves Carl, and he answers like a champ. We get to the liquor store just as another gang gets inside and robs the place. We are not going to let our money go, so we get rid of the guys and get the money. We get to her place, and she refuses to get out. She refuses and asks him to get inside. Carl is all about business, but Catalina tells him that she will do some nasty things with his manhood if Carl will not get into the house. He gives up eventually and goes inside. We don't see what they do, but the sound indicates that I can't talk about that on YouTube. Some not safe for work stuff. They get out after some time, and Carl indicates that he finds the whole experience interesting. They get into the car, and the protagonist says that they need to get some money. Catalina starts arguing that Carl does not see her as a woman, just a cheap pastime. He manages to calm the storm, and they arrive to the next robbery target. We try to rob the betting shop. Catalina does a horrible job with crowd control, and one of the hostages triggers the alarm, but I didn't understand how explosives work and blew her up. I got a phone call from Caesar as I tried to restart the mission. He has been scouting around and manages to find the illegal racing opportunity. The cars are not that beautiful, but they are fast.
You want to make some money?
Does the Pope shit in the woods?
Why you keep asking me that, Holmes? I told you, I don't know. What Holiness does his business is his business. Just get a fast car and meet me in Kendall just south of Montgomery. See you, man.
We will take care of that later. We successfully robbed the safe, changed the color of the car to get rid of the cops, and dropped off the girl. We get to her place next time, and she bursts out of the house. She yells that all males are the same and that Carl broke her heart. They are business partners from this point on. No more romantic things. Carl asks Catalina not to go berserk this time, but she is not convinced. We arrive at the local bank, and Carl is on crowd control. I fail to take care of all hostages. We make glorious police officers to stop their bribes. We fight through the streets, follow Catalina, save her from the police, and get to her place. It was the last mission from our new girlfriend. Let's go racing. We get there early. Carl nags Caesar for showing up late, and we meet up with the local triad leader, Woozy. The race is easy enough, but pays good cash. Woozy pays us and gives us his card. He tells us to call him whenever we are in San Fierro. He might have a job for us. We clear out before the cops show up. We see Claude, who tinkers with his racing car. Catalina and he are a couple. He will regret that in a couple of years. She becomes hysterical.
Pig!
What? What I do now?
Oh, so this is where you've been, eh? This is how you repay my tenderness? You prefer the curves of some car to those of a real woman?
Look, Catalina, you called it off, remember? Just business.
What kind of a man are you? When I say just business, I mean that I love you!
What the fuck?
When I say I'm no interested no more, I mean that I love you! And
Hey,
when I say that I miss
Catalina,
you...
wait! Leave my car alone. I did this for us, for me and you.
It's too late. I don't love you no more. I love another, okay?
What? Then what the was this about?
I cannot keep my passions hold up. They need a release. That was a good release. Like a man with a frying pan while he sleeps. This, Carl? This is my new man. Are you jealous? Are you going to fight for me? Huh?
Nah, I could take rejection.
You are jealous and a coward. Now let's race!
This is basically the first race, but in reverse. I win with ease. Catalina is less than happy and gives a deed to a garage in San Fierro as a prize. We get a phone call from the Truth. Our order is ready. We can go and pick it up. Carl shows up with the briefcase full of money. It appears that our friendly cop ordered 3 tons of product. We start hearing helicopter sound. Truth starts blaming Carl for being a rat, but it appears that Tenpenny messed with us. We need to clear out the farm at a certain time. Everything goes smoothly, and we shoot down choppers from a rocket launcher kindly provided by our hippie friend. Carl gets a little bit messed up, but we hop in the mothership and drive away. The vehicle drives horribly. Good thing that cops don't follow us. Carl tells Caesar to meet him at the garage that he won in a race against Catalina. On their way, Truth tells Carl different types of stupid things, and it appears that the car is held together with a macrame hammock and it's running on 15-year-old cooking oil. The Truth also wears a tinfoil as protection from mind control, induction of images, sound, or emotion. In this universe, it appears that 23 government satellites watch over any citizen at any moment. Besides, the Pentagon in this world holds 23 ancient religious relics. We are in the city after some time. Truth tells where we can find our new real estate.
This is the place. Whoa, Jesus, dude. Looks like you've been fed a bummer.
I got some new clothes to look presentable in the fine city. Caesar calls and says Big Smoke's courier is just being sent from Los Santos, so I decide to check it out. On the way, I notice some police officers causing a road emergency and punch the guy responsible. After that, I get on my motorcycle and head to the target. The courier is driving a military car. Since I don't have much ammo, I decide to find a new car and ram into him. The crates fall out of his truck and I collect them for cash. We go inside, only to discover that Catalina messed with us again. She gave Carl an empty warehouse. Carl is furious and vents at Caesar, calling Catalina a bitch. Truth asks to stop yapping. Carl kills his mood. Caesar doesn't like that Carl dissed the family. The protagonist says that he is sorry. He states that they have been dealt a shit deal. He put a lot of hope in this garage, but it is nothing more than abandoned warehouse. Kendall tells Carl that he is an idiot. His whole life he wanted to get something from nothing. It doesn't work that way. She and Caesar will help set everything up, but Carl needs to stop whining. In the meantime, Truth checks out the energy in the garage. He knows a couple of locals who might need a decent place to work. Let's pick them up. The first 2 dudes are the ones from the Marine business missions back in Vice City. Truth asks to drop by the Santa Monica hospital. Carl asks if he is sick, but the old man parries by telling him that the government is. We get in place and notice suspicious-looking vans. Truth tells to think of yellow rubber ducks. He is satisfied now. We get to another dude. He agrees to join, but needs to take care of some business for now. He will meet us back in the garage. Truth tells him to get down to the San Fierro Police Department, and Carl asks him why. He claims that if he told the reasons, then Carl would get a prob and a back entrance within a month. Another strange-looking car, but right now, our old friend is happy. We pick up the last member of our crew. He is a dork named Zero. He really likes to play with his radio toys, but overall, he is an electronics expert. Everyone is is in place, and we meet the new crew with Caesar. The place looks rickety, but a week of hard work and everything should be alright. We can purchase an old-looking piece of property, hustle around it a bit. It should start bringing in some cash in no time. A lot of small streams snowball, and we will have a big operation. Carl is skeptical, but Kendall tells him that this place will get on its feet one way or another. We will have decent cash after that. If we want to build something of ourselves, we need to force money to work for us.
Yeah, that's my baby girl right there, Holmes.
Man, you chose her. I'm stuck with her.
We get a call from our police friends. After some traditional pleasantries, Tenpenny tells that we have to plant 3 tons of happy plants in the dude's car and call the cops. Carl protests because street code prohibits him from snitching, but Carl becomes more agreeable when he hears that the target is a district attorney. We get to the hotel and notice a new side job. We can work as the valets near a fancy hotel. However, we need to get a uniform. We follow one of the workers underground and convince him to share his uniform. Another valet thinks that Carl is probably a new boy. We get in line. Our target drives a gray sedan, and we need to remember it and be the one who will serve him. After a couple of cars, we notice our car and hop in it. We have a limited amount of time to bring the car to our garage, where the boys will do their magic and bring it back. I successfully place a car in its place, get across the street, and call the cops.
Hello? This weed tip? I seen something highly suspicious you should come check out.
Police, don't move! Get out of the car with your hands in the air! Do you know who you're with here? I'll have your badge, you moron! Shut up! You find anything back there?
Found anything? He's got half of Mexico in here. Must be 2 tons of Mary here.
What? But I've never seen. How could it be? Hell of a defense you got there, buddy!
I changed clothes a couple of times since we arrived in San Fierro. I don't know, nothing just felt right, so now I have a new look. Kendall storms into the garage and asks if she looks like a woman for hire. She says that construction workers just around the corner told that she looked like one. Caesar is ready to go and teach punks some manners, but Carl tells him that he got this. He wanted to take a look at that land for a long time anyway. We get into the vehicle and start tearing down the construction site. Locals don't have any guns to defend themselves aside from shovels. The main threat was red barrels that were scattered around the place. You have to be extra careful. One of the workers has been spending his time in a mobile toilet. He notices Carl and hides inside. Carl will not have any of his and he starts to roll the mobile toilet around the site. Carl will not have any of his and he starts to roll the mobile toilet around the site. He drops it into a nearby hole and fills it with fresh cement. That should teach those blue-collar workers some manners. We get a call from one of our mechanics. He asks not to get offended, but he talked to Caesar, and he is shocked by the number of cars that we go through. There is an advanced driving school not far away from the garage. Our character offended for a bit, but let's check it out. The driving school is a set of challenges where you can score a gold, silver, or bronze medal. To pass it and get to another one, you should get a bronze or higher. Everything's pretty easy. I only had problems with wheelie weave. I just couldn't get a grasp of the controls for some time, but I still managed to pass. The alley-oop test was hard as well. The last one is to drive around a city a little bit in a sports car. I'm too poor to purchase an apartment, so we will live in the garage for the time being. We get a phone call from Caesar. He says that another courier from Big Smoke leaves Los Santos. He tracks some important cats right now. We should join him. Everything goes smoothly, and boys arrive at the Angel Pine Village. They get on the nearby roof and take a picture of some suspicious-looking dudes entering the back entrance of the local fast food restaurant. Our old friend Ryder arrives first, and there are a couple of strange-looking dudes after him. One of them even looked like a government official of some sort. I am taking pictures, and we split up. Woozy comes down to the garage and gives information about dudes that we snap. We witness the sit-down of the Loco Syndicate. Woozy dudes do not touch the baby powder, so they don't have any deals with the dudes. The government-looking person is their leader. The mustache man is the head of security. Dude in the purple suit is the biggest pimp in town. He helps to set up deals, a middleman of sorts. He is the owner of the big gentleman's club under the bridge. Woozy tells you to hop by his place from time to time. The dude fails to impress. Carl kisses his ass and tells how important he is, that he is intelligent and other pleasantries. Our character is new in town. He is ready to do anything that he desires. He says that he has a little problem that a dumb muscle like Carl can deal with. Jizzy himself is an intellectual. Dude explains that his business requires having thousands of eyes all over the city. There is this incel dude who has been killing jizzy girls. 2 just in the last week. He wants us to snoop around town. As we exit, he asks to drop off one of his girls at the hotel downtown. His car should be treated like a Pope. She offers services to Carl, but he refuses. The girl gets offended, and we drop her off. We call Jizzy on the phone. He says that here is one pretender dude who has been making moves on his turf. He could not track him, but one of his girls now has eyes on the pretender. We get rid of the competitor and get another call. Jizzy is happy that we got rid of the dude, but one of the girls has problems under the local intersection. We get there and notice punks who have been killing the girls. We get rid of them, but we still have a problem. The sugar daddy of the first girl wants to get her off the street. Jizzy doesn't like it one bit. He sends us to make an example out of all of them. We get to the place and notice a fancy-looking vehicle column with a limousine in the middle.
The Lord sent me to save your threadbare soul, harlot. Get in the car and remove your filthy vestments, so I may better gaze upon thy corruption. Driver, get us out of here before the devil's right hand snatches this poor girl from salvation.
Right away, your evangelical holiness.
It appears that the girl managed to get some old priest to fall for her. We blow up the security car and destroy the dude himself. We tell Jizzy that everything has been taken care of, and he is pleased. He states that the car is wanted by the police. We need to ditch it or leave it for ourselves. Woozy calls us and invites Carl to his small betting shop down in Chinatown. I lose the cops and hop by the Woozy betting shop. His personal confidant tells Carl that our friend is blind. Carl can't believe it because Woozy was driving against him in the countryside a couple of weeks before. The grunt says that Woozy is just blessed with a huge fortune, and the gang considers him their golden boy. Woozy reintroduces himself as Carl, who double checks if our friend here is really blind. Woozy's responsibility is to mediate dealings and ensure that everything works smoothly. The first assignment is to accompany him during the visit to one of the triads that failed to show face at the last Tong meeting. We must drop by and explain to them that such behavior is unacceptable. He wants Carl to see how they go by their business without recourse to unnecessary violence. We get to the triad hood and Woozy kisses one of the walls. We get to the place and Woozy says that it is strange. These gates are usually closed. Our friend accidentally steps on one of the soldiers. The local triad had been wiped out and the only survivor was too scared to fight, so he hid in the garage. The Vietnamese gang wiped them all out. However, Carl gets busted while stealing a car from a wandering guy. I finish everything without problems on the second attempt. We got our friend back to his place. A leader of the West Coast Triads is staying at Woozy's apartment. Carl tries to be polite. People from back home tell Woozy that a Vietnamese crime family plans to move to the United States. It is the most likely explanation for the cowardly attack. The grumpy leader wants a package retrieved from the parking lot at the local airport. Carl volunteers, and Woozy vouches that he will handle it discreetly. There is also a better chance that this will not draw unnecessary attention. The boss agrees to give us a chance. At first, I couldn't figure out how to reach the parking lot. I assume it's inside the gates, but I can't get in because of my poor flying skills. We will talk about planes and flying school later. I kill a guard, but the gates remain closed. I manage to hop the fence using a car, but I fail to find a parking spot. After some time, I realize the parking lot must be open to regular citizens, so it has public access. I kill a couple of policemen, and we find the needed car in the public garage just outside the airport. The Vietnamese set a trap, and Carl has to escape the pursuit. The police take notice too, but nothing we can't handle. I shake them off and drop the car in a warehouse at the local port.
Catalina, is that you again?
After a pleasant conversation, I buy an apartment in Chinatown and head back to Woozy. While our host is honored to receive such a venerable guest, we must arrange an evacuation. The leader has been followed here. The Da Nang boys are watching his apartment. They'll try to kill him the moment he steps outside. Carl comes up with a plan. Since the Vietnamese know he works for the Triads, they will follow him wherever he goes. The leader can slip away after that without attracting attention. The Triads support the idea and promise a reward for our success. We get into the decoy car and drive to the countryside. The enemy gang intercepts us near the local lumber mill. We don't need to kill them. Carl only needs to draw their attention to himself. So we gave them a tour around the trees. I know this place well from working with Catalina. I lose the pursuit after a while and arrive at a gas station. Everything works according to plan. The Triad leader reaches a safe place. The Vietnamese arrive too late. The reward is decent. Later, Carl and Woozy play video games at the Triad friend's place. Woozy asks for help with another problem, but it will require swimming skills. Woozy wins the game, and we have to improve our swimming abilities. Skills increase with use, so I practice practice in the water along San Fierro's shores. I decided to reach the local aircraft carrier, and swimming while police boats circle was fun. After some time, I gained the necessary skill and lost the police. Back in Chinatown, Carl can't comprehend that Woozie can't swim. Our friend says deep water panics him, and that he dislikes the creatures living there. Woozie needs someone outside the triad whom he can trust with such a delicate task. Carl mentions a time swimming around the Los Santos Marina when a condom got stuck to his face. He still has nightmares. It is the first time that Woozie tells that he is blind. He improved other senses, so he is a productive member of the gang world. However, his sharp instincts are useless in the water. Carl agrees to help, but double checks if the Asian dude understands that he is black and not Asian. Woozie is blind, not stupid. Let's help our friend. We go to the seafront, navigate underwater caves, and almost get killed by boats patrolling near the freighter. We board a boat and meet local thugs. I reach the administrative quarters, plant a bug, and swim back ashore. The gunmen on the patrolling boats almost kill me, but Carl prevails. The city is shrouded in heavy fog. It looks fantastic. We catch Woozie as he leaves the apartment. He says this job is big. It will cement his standing in the triads. He gets a phone call, and something is wrong. A Vietnamese gang is arriving today on a container ship, but Woozie must take care of other issues. Carl volunteers, and Woozie thanks him for the help and support. He promises to invite Carl to his new spot if everything goes according to plan. We get to the roof and hop into a helicopter. We circle the ship a couple of times to thin out the number of enemies we'll face inside. We take a rocket, and Carl is the only survivor. All our gear is lost. We are left with nothing but a knife. I grab a gun from a patrolling thug and make my way through the containers. There are many enemies aboard this ship, and I die a couple of times. After some time, I get inside but get hit by another rocket. On the third attempt, I reach the other side and open a container full of refugees. They say that the gang tricked them and that they are hostages. The ship commander practices ancient martial arts on the bridge. We have to deal with him and release emergency boats. I don't encounter other problems on my way to the target. The old man throws us a samurai sword and wants to fight. I imagine an Indiana Jones moment, but the game strips my weapons away. Still, I manage to beat him. We free the hostages and escape on boats. Jizzy and T-Bone are in his club. The pimp introduces Carl, but he is unhappy with a three-way split of the organization. There are 3 of them, yet Jizzy only receives 20% and wants a larger cut. Everything escalates, but T-Bone gets a phone call, an emergency. Some men ambush their van. However, they should not approach it. The whole thing could be a federal trap, so they decide to send Carl as an expendable soldier. We arrive and notice a few dirty bikers stealing product from the van. I drive around the city, picking up the envelopes with the stolen goods and delivering them back to the club. The cartel is under attack, and T-Bone is worried. He gets a call from his leader. Mike has been taken by a rival organization and will reveal his whereabouts only until the phone battery dies. We checked a construction site, the port, and finally the San Fierro airport. Attackers killed 2 guards at the entrance. It takes me some time to find our friend. As the signal gets stronger, I close in. We reach the van and clear out the enemies.
Hey man, come on, hurry up.
About time, T-Bone. Who the is this?
Hey, that's one of Jizzy's clowns. Relax, Güero.
You hear that? We gotta torch this van with the coke in it.
Hey, Charlie, Güero, we ain't torching nada.
This is a setback, but doing 20 to life is a little more than that. Comprende, amigo?
Hey, he right, man. Let's do it and get the hell out of here.
Hey, who the fuck asked you, payaso? This ain't a committee.
Exactly. I call the shots here. Now shut up and let's go.
The group destroys the van to lose police attention. We had to repaint the car to avoid suspicion. Mike grows suspicious and takes Carl's wallet to check his documents. Carl drops the men off at the club and receives a decent reward. Jizzy calls Carl again. T-Bone needs assistance. He waits in a brown sedan at a nearby gas station. Carl finds the car, but no one is inside, so he decides to sit and wait.
Hey, you a pinchy hooter or what? What the hell? You think you can mess with me? I will blow your head off and break.
I don't know what you talking about, man. My throat.
Who you working for?
Nobody.
Turn around and look at me.
Man, I'm just trying to make some money. Keep my mouth shut, I swear, man.
I almost had you, man. I almost f***ing had you. Watcha? You gotta be careful in this business, man. You know that.
Are you boys done playing around?
Yeah, we're straight, Vato.
Oh, good. That's great. Now we gotta go meet this shipment. We're late as it is. Let's go.
We arrive at the rendezvous and grab a bike. Our job is to ensure the shipment reaches the factory intact. We clear roadblocks at any means enemies use to obstruct the van. The rocket launcher proves extremely helpful. I use a sniper rifle to finish off the remaining thugs and escort the shipment to its destination. Back at the garage, corrupt officers show up. This time, they want me to eliminate a liberal journalist who has been poking around. They don't know who has been talking to the press, but they want both of them taken out. I reach the nearby station where our target boards a train, and I begin tailing him. I almost get taken out by oncoming traffic, but I manage to stay alive. Our target arrives at the central Los Santos station and leaves in a taxi. I failed the first attempt. I was too close and spooked him, busting the mission. The second time, I tail him to the beach and put a couple of projectiles into his skull. Woozy informs Carl that he needs the phone from Jizzy because it will let them hijack some bala pushers in Los Santos. Carl looks for tools, and Caesar gives us his silenced pistol. It is ideal for the job. I try to enter the club through the front gate, but local grunts block the way, so I climb a nearby construction site and jump to the club roof, infiltrating through an open window. Jizzy is agitated by important dealings and yells at his employees.
Hey Jizzy, I need to holler at you.
Well, talk then, friend. I mean, that's all we ever do. Kind word here, wise saying there. Shit, I'm a walking book of proverbs.
No, you
Come on, man. Hey, I get it wrong, you know? I'm imperfect, you know, like, hey, not a kind man, not a wise man, you know, not a smart man, but dear Lord, I tried.
No, you trusted me, player.
Come on, baby.
Ass selling, yay pushing, piece of shit trash.
Oh, Lord. What y'all waiting on, huh? Somebody cap this nigga, man.
But Jizzy manages to get outside. We fight into the street and clear it of another punk. The police are not happy with our community work, so we have to run away. Carl calls Caesar and asks for help to handle enemies on the nearby pier. I grab a bite and pick up body armor from the local armory. I also try a local shooting range, but it isn't that interesting. Let's not waste time there. Caesar waits on a nearby roof.
Nice job getting that phone message. What's up with Jizzy?
Dead. So what's the plan?
T-Bone security got here real early. They got men on the roofs watching over the pier. Hey, okay. Yeah, I see you. That was Woozy's boys. They're in place. Look down by the side entrance.
Shit, they heading up to the roof.
Shit! Mina, we're gonna have to take out T-Bone's men on the rooftop before this whole gig blows wide open. Here comes T-Bone.
And here's that snake rider. Look at that fool, hanging out with the ballers like they was lifelong pals. Something ain't right. Where's Torino?
Chopper inbound!
That's gotta be Torino. Oh shit, he'll see the bodies on the rooftops.
It's too late, man. He's tripping out, Holmes.
Smoke grenades? So much for a surprise. Come on, we gotta take these fools right now.
Cartel pushers arrive with ballast fools. Our old friend Ryder is among them. Mike arrives by helicopter, but sees the bodies on the roofs and tries to leave. Ryder and T-Bone lay down a smoke wall, and we fight through their goons.
Mendez, I see you, Reef.
Hey, Ryder, sherm-head asshole, where you think you going?
Can't stop me.
He's headed for those boats.
Don't worry about it, I got this.
The boys kill T-Bone, and Carl chases an old friend. They grab a bike from a nearby island party. A drive-by finishes off our old friend. We report Ryder's fate to Caesar. My boat develops a fire in the engine, but it remains usable. Got scared at first, but apparently a burning sport boat works fine in San Andreas. I secure safe harboring and get another call from Woozy. He informs us Torino is boarding a helicopter downtown. It's time to finish the Loco Syndicate once and for all. It seems he uses a landing pad near the police department. The cops would never lend such infrastructure to a simple push ambusher, so he should have a government connections. We neutralize the goons protecting the target, but Torino escapes. I die a couple of times, but eventually take him down. Carl hangs out in the garage while Caesar tells him that Carl is a hero in Los Santos. Carl feels hollow. Many people betrayed him over a pile of cash. It's the way things are in the criminal world. Carl is upset that he had to get rid of Ryder, one of his best friends. Caesar reveals Ryder was a punk who even made advances on Kendall. Carl had not known this. Woozy stops by and tells us the syndicate runs a factory nearby. We can blow it up and erase the last remaining foothold in the city. Woozy's associate supplies a vehicle rigged with explosives. We clear out the factory workers and plant the transport inside the main building. On the way back, I fight through the remaining security. The main exit is blocked, so I jump the fence to escape. The explosion finishes the job. With cash mounting up, I decide to buy Zero's shop. He calls and asks to meet at my new place. He sounds depressed. His hopes and dreams are collapsing, and his oldest rival is back in town. Berkeley is a dork, whom Zero once beat at a science fair. Now he wants revenge. They probably argue about who has the best furry costume. Carl thinks Zero did something to Berkeley or worse, but it's not the case. Berkeley launches an all-out attack on transmitters set up on rooftops. Radio-controlled toys drop explosives, and we have to shoot them down with a machine gun. It's an odd foreshadowing of how modern conflict plays out on the ground. I destroy all enemy flying toys for 3 minutes straight. Zero's equipment survives. We can't find Zero in his shop. We only hear his voice as he asks Carl to leave, but we find him hanging by his underpants in the wardrobe. Carl says he must defend himself and fend off the attacks. Zero shows a prototype miniature plane, and we use it to destroy enemy vans roaming San Fierro. I easily destroy the enemy vehicles. We meet Zero again. He's ready to face destiny, good or bad. He speaks nonsense, but goes to compete against his arch nemesis and asks for Carl's help. We must escort a small car to the enemy base, remove obstacles, and drop explosives on enemy toys. The mission would have been easy if I had known I could use a magnet to clear obstacles instead of only dropping explosives on little tanks. It takes time, and we barely made it. Zero's shop now generates income. We got a phone call from a strange-sounding dude. He says that he has some info about Sweet, and we need to meet with him on the ranch just over the bay. Let's change into the clothes that are most suited for the countryside and take a look. We got to the place. Local workers do not pay any attention to us, and we hear a voice from the intercom. Carl wants to get answers directly from the dude, but the voice wants us to prove that we are worth something. I don't know why, but he decided that a rally through the desert in an average American car would be a sign that Carl is the real deal. The whole thing is not that hard, and I finished it on the first try. We get back to the ranch and it appears that Mike is alive and healthy. Our helicopter prank doesn't kill him. Carl starts begging for the life of his brother, asking to kill him, then harming Sweet. Torino orders to calm down and sit down. It appears that he works for one of the government agencies. Money and connections produced by the local cartel helped immeasurably to promote American interests overseas. He will not let communism come to Ohio. People should buy and not share for the common interest. He needs Carl as a muscle to do a series of dirty assignments. The first one is to commandeer a truck from a rival agency. The kid inside will be vital for us. It is a two-man job. Mike tells us to use Caesar as our backup. The Latino dude is chill as ever and does not ask unnecessary questions. I get on the bike and retell the assignment. We get close to the truck and Caesar jumps from the bike to the cabin. The driver struggles, but my friend successfully commandeers the truck. I get inside and bring it to our garage in San Fierro. I go back to Torino and hear him talking some gibberish on a shortwave radio. The suit needs help, but Carl demands to hear what he knows about Sweet. The dude tells some information about which cell Sweet is in and about his two charming boyfriends. They are fantastic people, but I can't give them a proper description due to YouTube rules. They are really upstanding members of the community. You can be sure of that. He also says not to be scared of crooked cops. They are small fish and more of a threat to their own families than to anybody else. Carl is shocked that he is so well informed, but the suit says that Sweet is just collateral for him. On one hand, he has scumbags inside the country, but on the other, horrible people outside the country. He and other agents work tirelessly to keep the balance and ensure nothing pivots on one side. The suit has a task for us. We need to get some equipment and intercept the cargo. The suite will be fine. He ensures that if Carl does the assignments, anyone who messes with the suite inside the pen will deeply regret it. I get inside the buggy and drive to the place. Torino gets in touch via intercom. He provides some equipment and a couple of cars. We can choose whatever we like. Carl's get to the drop zone and place the beacon. The helicopter got to us, but enemy helicopters forbade him from unloading. A couple of rockets destroy enemy transports with no problems. Due to complications, the cargo was dropped at the secondary drop zone. We have to get there through multiple police ambushes. The local police department is not that intrigued about the fact that we fought a third world war in their district. We pick up the cargo and deliver it to the safe spot. Torino reads the book titled Conspiracy Theory and laughs about historical facts, calling them all lies. He also informs Carl that he did so well that his double agent in Panama asked for a clearance to interrogate him, and another dude wanted to do some messed up things with Carl's manhood, some hardcore Russian thing. He also asks to purchase some property for himself. We're going to do some really wet work for him, not the Girl Scout things. He recommends offering the owner $1 for his property and doing some nasty things to him until he agrees with the price. It doesn't work that way, and we need a lot of money to purchase it. I don't have it at the moment. Let's finish setting up the garage in San Fierro. One of our mechanics calls us and tells us that he and Caesar came up with a list of cars that we can steal and get a great buck. We need to purchase the showroom around the corner, just to make everything look as legitimate as possible. Let's do it. This purchase took half of our money. I hope that it is worth it. Kendall storms in and tells the boys to stop slacking around. We need to do some work to make our business ventures profitable. Zero gets to the dudes and tells them that he managed to hack into the satellite technology that tracks the cars we need to steal. He gives us the last known location, and we will figure out the rest as we go. We drive around the city a little bit and box her in on one of the streets. She is not eager to give us her car, but a couple of projectiles from a submachine gun convince her to share. We got the car to our place, and now we have access to a new chop shop, and the cars will stay in our new showroom. Our two mechanics tinker around the client's car, and Caesar bursts in, saying that one of our cars is in a showcase across town. We will obtain it. Our Latino friend really likes San Fierro. It is way better than the slums back in Los Santos. Kendall is happy figuring out business ventures, and Truth is just strange. Carl defends the old man, saying that he just has a different perspective. His unique way of seeing the world was helpful more than a dozen times. We jump through the second story of the showroom. The boys drove around the city, playing with cops. Eventually, we lose the pursuit by running through the construction site and driving back to our place. The boys play around the car, and Caesar gets a visitor. Kendall talks with Carl, telling him that they are doing great away from home. He just can't throw it out of his head. The whole messed up situation that they are in. He doesn't know how everything will play out, but those things require time. Caesar thanks his friend and tells Carl that cars that we want unload from the docks right now. We should check it out. The group arrives at the port and uses a crane to unload the container. It takes me a couple of times to figure out which one we want. The local mafia fools noticed that someone was playing around with their stuff, and they attacked Caesar. We help our boy out and bring the car back to the garage. Sourcing another car from our shopping list has some problems. We know our target, but the owner drives it all the time. She doesn't stop. Caesar almost went crazy tracking her down. However, Carl has an idea. We set up one of our cars with police stings and stole the car. This was the last mission for our garage business. Now our showroom generates income. It is not enough though. Let's participate in some races. They are accessible near our car showroom. There are different cars, and racetracks include countryside as well as streets of San Fierro. I won all 6 and now have the funds to purchase an abandoned airway. The suit asks Carl how he likes their new base of operations in the region, but our protagonist would like a jacuzzi and pool tables so he can motivate himself more. I haven't managed to force GTA San Andreas to work properly with my controller, so I finished it with computer controls. The whole controls are not that convenient, and the buttons lack smoothness to control the whole thing. We learn how to do the basic maneuvers on planes and helicopters. Additionally, we get to know how to shoot rockets and a machine gun. The small parachute practice finishes up our education. We get a phone call from Woozy. He tells to come to his new operation in Las Venturas and hear him out. He has a business proposition for us. We met Torino near one of the hangars. The old pervert crawls to Carl behind and tells him to be careful. He could send him to heaven in 9 different ways. Aside from a friendly brawl, he has some guys in the field that will be dead by nightfall if they don't get special equipment. Carl asks why he will not bring it by himself. Mike parries that he has 5 different people observing his every step. 2 on the nearby hill, 1 in a hangar, and 2 by satellites. No one gives a damn about Carl. That's why we take the plane and deliver the tech to the stranded allies. Using civilian planes makes me look like an enthusiast, so the Air Force is less likely to shoot us down. A smaller chance doesn't mean that they will not try to do that if we get too high, and their radar will spot us. I blew on us a couple of times, but I understand the controls after some time. So, I navigate the mountain ridge and circle all the way to the countryside just outside Los Santos. After that, we come back and land the plane. After some time, we notice a large contingent of men in black occupying our airway. They have the largest plane in the game and a couple of suspicious pickup trucks. Carl hides behind the crates, wondering what Torino is up to today. The suit gets to Carl. It is not his people on the airstrip. He informs that some dudes from another agency had a great idea to help overseas situations by financing militaristic dictators in exchange for arms contracts. Carl specifies that Torino does the same thing, but the dude tells that his dictators are the ones he can control. The general rule of the thumb is they stay away from dudes with principles. It just muddles the waters from his perspective. This particular group in front of him wants to drop the supply of landmines to the Middle East to cause some ruckus. Torino talked to some higher up, and he gave clearance to get rid of these dudes. Carl overall is skeptical about killing government agents, but Torino convinces him. He recommends thinking about this like pest control. It helps him. We hop on the nearby bike and start driving it towards the plane. Enemies notice us and try to get off. They manage to do it the first time, but the second attempt was more successful. The crew rolls down the barrels and throws our bike out of the plane. Good thing that Carl managed to get off it. The enemies were already dead when I came here, so I just planted a bomb and jumped out of the plane using a parachute. It was not that successful, and we got to the hospital. Another call from Catalina. I get equipment from the local gun store and get back to airstrip. We hear some strange noises around the broken fuselage of different planes. We notice Truth doing some meditation practice on one of the wreckages. I bumped up the whites a little bit so you can see things more clearly during the night. Truth asks if Carl even understands what we do for Torino. Our protagonist states that we are on a strict need-to-know basis, but Truth tells that it is not what the American founding fathers would want. Carl is traditionally confused, but Truth tells that there is a train that gets out from a secret place that is not marked on any maps. The things inside the freight will blow Carl's mind. However, we got work to do before that. We get to the nearby military base, and he drops off Carl outside it. It is an Area 69 with a bunker complex underneath. We need to get inside and steal some highly secretive things. The whole mission is set up for a stealth approach. We even have the silenced pistol. However, it is not Metal Gear, so I got spotted relatively fast. The underground part of the complex is protected by reinforced doors. However, we managed to get inside through the ventilation system. The local base is not interesting. It is just a bunch of generic underground military complexes. Mad scientists do some wacky things. It gives me Half-Life vibes. Would you be interested in me making videos about Half-Life? We turn down the air defense system and get down to the silo. Carl jumps into the experimental jetpack and gets out of the base. We bring it to the hill, and Truth picks it up. He will hold on to it for us for the time being. Truth abandoned us in the desert, and we had to make our way back home on foot. Back on the airway, we see how Truth tries to control this with the jetpack. He just can't get a grasp of it and fails horribly. The boomer tells that the new age has come today, and today will be the day when we will know everything. We get to the train that will pass through Las Venturas. The cargo is heavily secured, and I die a couple of times. Nonetheless, I prevail and bring the strange-looking veil back to the Truth. The boomer refuses to explain what we brought to him and leaves for his mothership. Our property starts to bring in some money. Did you know that the game has 3 functioning airports? We can purchase the ticket and even go airborne after it ascends to a particular height. I changed my style and purchased a small house in a desert city. Let's visit Woozy and his new operation. He opened the Four Dragons casino on the strip. I like the whole vibe of the place. Woozy loses his shit with all the stress that includes opening up the Triad establishment in the mafia-run city. He has slot machines busted up and workmen being scared off. He doesn't even understand who causes all the problems around here. There are 3 mob families that have a stake in Caligula Casino. One whacked-up lawyer runs it for them. We don't know who particularly harasses us. It might be one of them or all of them. Carl asks, why not to just give them a slice of the pie? Woozy refuses to give some wise guy Italians a part of our profit in addition to traditional bribes that is required to run this place. He wants to offer Carl a share in the Four Dragons casino in exchange for setting everything up. Our protagonist will not go away from such a lucrative offer. One of the guys runs into the office and says that we found some thugs trying to smash one of the deliveries. He asks what he should do with them. Woozy just wants to get rid of him, but Carl says that we need to get some info out of him. He orders to tie the dude to the front of the car and let him sweat a little bit. We will get down there in a couple of minutes. The dude himself is not that happy about our advanced interrogation tactics so far. We get on the road, and the task is to drive like a madman all around the city to force him to talk. We can't get to the highway because the police will get to know, so I maneuver around the small streets nearby. It takes some time, but he talks. The Sindaco family is behind all of the harassment. Carl gets the dude back to our place. We are driving the car from the list, so I head down to the San Fierro port and use a crane to place the car on one of the freighters. We have a decent reward for that. Back in the office, Woozy plays mini golf with a little help from his close confidant. The Woozies are surprised that only one family is behind the attack, but Carl doesn't believe that it is only them. We might have just caught the dude from one. Our protagonist sells the idea to hit the Mafia casino, jack the place up. It will take some planning and equipment, but we can do that. We need to get explosives first. There is a mine just outside of Ventura's. We might find some high-quality ordnance there. We get to the quarry, and the company has armed security. We get down there, get inside the Belarusian vehicle, and crash the crates until I find the explosives. The local security team got to the place and blocked the entrance. We need to drive the mining equipment to escape the place. After some stunts, I get out of the mine and deliver explosives to one of Woozy's boys. We tell him to be careful with this stuff. It is not really stable. Our boys play some cards, and Woozy gets a 47 hand. He says that Carl is just not lucky. He wins all the time when he plays with other boys. The confidant brings 2 chips to the table and tells them that it is important. Woozy guesses that one of them should be fake. The Sindaco family owns a plastic factory across the city. It should be the origin of these chips. Carl volunteers to check it out. The guards with a fantastic Italian accent notice us, and we clear the place of grunts. The shotgun does a fantastic job of destroying enemy production equipment. The problem is that I don't have the necessary amount of ammo to destroy all of them, so I had to place an ungodly amount of submachine gun ammo to get rid of the place. Another car for our export operation. Carl gets a call from Truth near our casino. He asks to pick up 2 English dudes from the desert. They faced the inner light and communed with the Lizard King. The problem is that he woke up in a Japanese bathhouse in Los Santos, and he didn't know what happened to his 2 colleagues. They have no experience being in the desert, so we need to pick them up. I get a car that can accommodate 4 people and get to the place. Carl goes around, yelling for any living soul nearby. 2 mess dudes got woken up by our protagonist. Their head kills them, and they don't know where they are. One of the dudes explained that he had a really pleasant adult dream until Carl showed up. Those 2 dudes are returning guys from Vice City. They had a really interesting night, but right now we need to pick up the rest of the gang. They have no idea where they are, but one dude remembers snakes. Let's check up on the nearby snake farm. The locals know our new friends. One of them had a fun night with the prized hog, and another screwed the one dude's sister. They both have had red bumps ever since. I deal with the locals. Both dudes are satisfied with their visit to the desert, so we abandon the rest of the band. Keyboardists and drummers are 10 a penny anyway. We drop them by the Caligula casino, but the sister reaches us. We deal with her, and now we have access to our rivals. That's our old friend Ken Rosenberg, Tommy Vercetti only friend. He is lying on the sofa, all depressed. He prays that one day he can escape his perpetual torment and retire in peace and comfort a million miles away from anyone he ever knew. Instead of that, he is in charge of the Mafia casino. Kent introduces Carl to Rosenberg. The lawyer continues to Vine. It appears that every Mafia guerrilla from Liberty City to Los Santos crawls all over him. We need to figure things out, but the most pressing issue is to make Ken functional again. We dropped by Caligula a couple of days later. Rosenberg can now at least talk. He had everything. Tommy gave him money, the ladies, and real estate. However, he couldn't lay off the blow, so he went into rehab. He started representing the Liberty City mob once again, but one family would never trust another family to run the casino, so they chose Rosenberg as a neutral party. Now he waits until one family will inevitably blow his head off and blame another family. His only friend is a bird named Tony. You can go ahead and check out his adventures in GTA Vice City in my first video. The card should appear in the upper right corner right now. Carl's head can't comprehend all this new information, and Ken starts from the basics. Basically, Sindacos are on the warpath because something horrible happened to Johnny. He is in a shock-induced coma at the hospital. It is a fantastic opportunity for the Forellis to get rid of him. The slight problem is that if local representatives are whacked on Rosenberg turf, then he will have problems. Carl volunteers to hop by the hospital and ensure that Johnny will get home in one piece. I get to the place, but the nurse tells me that our friend was released a couple of minutes ago. Dudes on the specialized medical transport picked him up. I drive around town and check every ambulance until I find the one with a suspicious-looking driver. I get rid of them and bring our friend home. It appears that it is the same dude whom we drove around the city some time ago. We drop by the Caligula once more. Boys give Rosenberg some powder, and now he is in condition to deal with business. The good doctor has revived the patient. Carl tries to run away from this endeavors, but Rosenberg asks him not to leave him alone. So, we get to the place. Johnny rolls from the private room. He seems alright until he notices Carl and gets a heart attack. The thugs set their own meat factory in flames, and some of the dudes use a production line as a cover, but we clear all enemies and get out of here. Rosenberg is bombastic on the way, but is finished. The mob will not look lightly on the dissemination of one of the families. Ken asks to drop him off by the airport, but we need to set everything up so our friend can live in peace. Carl promises that he will figure something out. We drop him by the Caligula for the time being. The head of the triad, Carl and Woozy, meet up in the Four Dragons office. We sign off on the deed for the casino. Now Carl Johnson is officially a partner in one of the most profitable businesses imaginable. I tried learning a new move from the local gym, but got completely decimated. We get a call from Rosenberg. He says that the Leone family decided to make their move. Their Don is in town. He is taking over Caligulas. It's a war for control of Venturas. Back to our friends, they chill outside the window strapped by the rope and discuss some things to pass their time. We notice Leon's future wife from GTA 3. She brings him a sandwich, and the bird tells him to pay the poor girl. Carl gets to the cabinet and tells that before working with Mr. Rosenberg, he had the pleasure of working with his son Joey back in Liberty City. Ken vouches for Carl being able to solve different problems. Leon has a crew coming from Liberty City today to kill him. He wanted to send some boys as a welcoming committee, but maybe Carl can take care of this little problem. Rosenberg asks to go along and gets up from the sofa, but as soon as he stands up, the dudes start to fall from the window. He will stay in place for the time being. This is the most infamous mission in the whole game. We have an extremely popular video explaining why, but I will try to do it fairly. Basically, we need to get to the local airport, get an old-ass plane, and intercept the enemy private jet mid-air. The problem is that your plane is slower than your enemies, so you need to understand how to place your plane in the place so you can intercept enemies. You can't change it for the faster one that is placed a couple of feet outside the hangar. So it took me a couple of attempts, but I managed to do it. Carl jumps off his plane and gets inside the business jet cabin. We get the first person to look to kill all enemies inside. The pilot is not the brightest bulb in the pack, so we take the plane and bring it to Las Venturas Airport. I met our cop friends near one of the houses, having a barbecue. Things have developed since we met last time. Despite our best efforts, the gig's nearly up. Carl tries to joke about the predicament of our fine officers over here, but they don't appreciate it. There is this abandoned village up in the desert. Feds set up the base there and hold the meeting of the joint effort on the Tenpenny case. The police officer wants us to retrieve documents and get rid of the lead investigators. Initially, I stormed the place head on. Federal agents put up a good fight, but nothing close to the insane moves from Carl Johnson. However, I got blown up during the pursuit. Next time, I decided to take a sniper rifle and kill the target from a long way. The only problem is that I still need to get that file. I shoot my way through defenses once more. The cops set up a meeting near another abandoned village. Jetpack is really useful in this terrain. Carl waits for the cops to arrive with documents in hand. Tenpenny gets the shovel from the trunk and introduces it to Hernandez's head. It appears that their Latino colleague was a snitch all along. He orders Carl to dig and Pulaski to take care of things. He himself will get some pleasure time with fantastic girls. He says that he will see Carl in another life. Our protagonist digs and tries to convince Eddie that Tenpenny uses him. However, the Latino dude was not finished, so he saves Carl from a bullet and the fat one runs away in a sports car. We communicate with him over the intercom. Pulaski has always been the rush one. He wanted to whack Carl a long time ago, but Tenpenny always found a reason to keep Carl alive. He asks how Kendall is doing. He always had a thing for her. They have a couple of good shots of Kendall and Caesar having their way with each other like a couple of chihuahuas.
Not feeling so fucking full of yourself now, huh?
Yeah, well, them's the breaks, fuck.
Any last requests?
Yeah. Can I fuck your sister?
You an asshole to the end. Punk motherfucker.
Back in Four Dragons, Carl and Woozy meet up in the utility room. Woozy asks why we can't do that in his office, but Carl wants to have their own secret room for heist planning. The most pressing issue in hand is to get the plan of the casino from the local planning department. I convince one of the tourists to share their camera with me and get there. The secretary gives instructions on where we can find plans. However, the reproduction of such plans is prohibited. I get on the upper floor, but the plans are guarded by the local security force. So I caused a malfunction in the air system and forced everyone to evacuate the building. After getting the plans, I got swarmed by the law. However, I get from the place and lose the tail.
Now I know you blind, man, but you gotta see this.
The target has a decent setup, cameras and card readers all over the place. Woozy's confidant gets in the room and tells that the package arrived for Carl. Our protagonist is tripping about having people see the plans, but it seems we have our first recruit. The box is a package from Zero. It will allow us to reproduce keycards. Now, we just need to get the original. Humans remain the weakest link in security even now. Let's find some to exploit. We get to the Caligulas and follow one of the cashiers who goes out of work. She goes to a shop for adults and gets a phone call from her daddy. Carl picks up a reasonable outfit and follows her to the house. We wait until her lover appears and get rid of him. We get inside the house and Carl experiences things that I can't describe here. We need her to like us enough that she will share the key card. The dating system is pretty easy. We can go on dates with our spouses. The game has 6 of them. Each one gives some special abilities that we can get if we get girl to like us. This particular girl likes to visit restaurants and bars. Another girlfriend notices us after one of the times. I had to run away from her. It took me a couple of dates, but Millie will allow us to use her key card for our heist, but she will expect her cut. We met a huge crowd in our planning room. Carl is shocked, and he tells everyone to go away, aside from a specialist and a cleaner who lives in this room. One of the dudes asks for coffee and donuts. Carl can't deal with this, so he goes off to do some planning and asks Woozy to do the crew work. We get inside the old ass plane and parachute onto the dam. The game wanted me to arrive at one pier, but I fell into the water. This is another stealth section, but my protagonist is an embodiment of covert action, and we blast our way to the dam. We have a couple of generators in the room, and we plant charges on every one of them so we can disable electricity in the city when we need it. We get out of the room and get to the local tower. Someone locked the hedge. Cops think that we are trapped, but Carl jumps from the dam. Check out the helicopter that can land on water. The plan for the crew to get away with the money while Carl brings all the unnecessary attention to himself. Caligula usually uses a cop escort when they move cash around, so we get outside and bring 4 police bikes to the special vehicle. We have taken care of bikes, and Woozy brought uniforms our way. Now we just need to get ourselves an armored van to respray it with the Caligula Casino logo. Woozy tells us that we can just steal the van when one of them is on their usual run. Carl doesn't want the crew to get additional risks by dealing with some street-level things. Zero has an idea. The local army depot has a helicopter that is used to lift heavy weights. This thing could lift the whole truck and take it to someplace safe. Carl is the only one who can fly in the whole crew, so it will be our responsibility to get the helicopter. I get on the local base and fight my way through multiple enemies. I eventually made it to the roof. Enemies brought reinforcements, but a couple thousand projectiles in the cockpit of the helicopter does the job just fine. I eventually got to the helicopter. It is big, clunky, and hard to control. I managed to pick up an armored van, despite how it wobbles under my helicopter. We met with the Triad dude on our helipad. He says that we never fail to amaze. Woozy insisted on driving himself, so he can be anywhere right now. After some time, we see a drunken dude who says that he will jump, and 2 guys who bet on whether he will. This is a mad dog, the dude that we messed around with 15 pages of script ago. Carl tries to convince him not to do that, but he is at his lowest. He spent all his money in the casino, and he has nothing to live on. We decide to take the pickup truck filled with boxes and drive around to catch the fool. He eventually jumps and lands on our car. The dude is injured, so I drive really carefully not to harm him. We get him to the hospital and rehab. I hope he will be fine. We got a call from Rosenberg. He is panicking that Carl has forgotten about them. Let's get to Caligula and figure this thing out. The old dude with Maria practices pointy things throwing at one of our guys. They flirt with each other. He congratulates us on successfully completing previous tasks, but right now, he needs us to go to Liberty City and show Forelli what it means to mess around with Salvatore Leon. Carl agrees, but requests 3 fools to go as a backup during the hit. We send our friends far away from Las Venturas. They are eternally grateful, and we have a plane to catch. Carl gets in a cab to the bistro, and we start start smashing the place up. I noticed one dude with eternal health and 2 submachine guns. He almost killed me. It has more Italians than modern Italy, but we managed to prevail and kill all enemies. Good God that enemies were not infinite because I was barely alive. I get back home and park the plane. Our employer is happy about their job, and he becomes even more satisfied when we tell him that we dealt with 3 loose ends.
Carl, what's up? It's your brother.
Hey, what's up, man? You okay?
Not really. I'm stuck in a cell between 2 lunatics. And people keep trying to jump me. This shit ain't cool, partner. You looking after Kendall?
Nah, she looking after me.
Right. That's cool.
I'ma get you out of there, though, man.
No, you ain't, nigga. Who you think you are? I'm here for life. I guess I've grown used to it now.
No, you not, man. I'm working shit out, whatever it takes.
That's a negative. I'm through hoping. Have a nice life, brother.
Hold on, man. I'm getting shit worked out for you. Just hang in there. Sweet.
We got another incredibly depressing call from Sweet. Let's hop on our heist. Everyone is good and knows what to do. Carl gets clear communication with Zero and gets to the Caligulas. We are making our way to the staff door and bullshit our way through the guard. He is suspicious of us. He never saw us before, but the guard still allows us to enter. We get to the generator room and throw the gas down in the air shaft. We open the door with a card, and Zero sets off the charges we have set up on the dam. It is really dark here, so I use night vision goggles. We get to the loading bay, but the doors don't work without electricity. So, I use a forklift to lift this thing up. The boys drive by to the place and get inside. Woozy tries to lead the team, but I think that Carl will do a better job. It wouldn't be a heist if everything went according to plan. Someone else is in the system and actively sabotages Zero. It appears that Berkeley provides cybersecurity for Caligula. We get some explosive charges and blow up the emergency generators. You can't put them back online if they are just a pile of trash. The boys blow up the safe. Mafia fools send some backup, and we escort our boys to an armored van. Zero unloaded police bikes, and 2 members of the team changed into police uniforms. Berkeley managed to power up this place once more, so we make our way through waves of enemies to the roof. Carl is a decoy. I get across the rooftops and get a parachute. Carl lands on the nearby roof and steals a police helicopter. We get to the safe house. The team made it without casualties.
What's up?
You 2-bit backstabbing piece of eggplant shit.
Salvatore, nice to hear from you too.
You're dead. Your friends are dead, your family's dead. I'm gonna fuck you up and your children and your grandchildren.
Well, it's been nice talking to you, but I got some money that needs spending on some expensive trash, so if you excuse me.
You're dead. Dead.
After a pleasant conversation, Carl helps Woozy audition different performers. Dwarf can't take the rejection. Carl gets up and says that running a casino is hard work. He hoped that it would be way easier. Mad Dog comes to our office, and he tells me that he is clean. Carl wants to put him in our schedule, but the old dog wants to go home, to his mansion. Kendall says that she heard about this place. Different messed up things happened in this place. Carl was also there, but he would not tell Mad Dog about that. Our protagonist is happy because it will allow us to get a foothold in Los Angeles once more. Our rapper friend is not happy to share his crib because his mansion has been seized. Woozy immediately thinks that it is the feds, but it appears that dude over here managed to lose his home to a street pusher. Carl is pissed. We are all going home. The Triad will provide manpower for the operation. Carl gets a phone call on the plane. Kendall says that she and Caesar will visit our garage in San Fierro, and after that, get to Mad Dog's mansion. Carl and some dudes will move first and clear out the landing pad for our boys. The occupants have numbers and decent firepower. I got killed a couple of times, but we eventually cleared the whole complex. I can't call this place a house due to its sheer size. The pusher runs on the street, so I need to reach him in my pink car and take care of him. Now, we have a new home in Los Santos. Carl calls 3 fools and invites them into his business. He would need an accountant and a decent producer for the Mad Dog new album. The boys arrive shortly, and Whitecap deals with his primal instincts. The rapper works on the music, but the sound equipment just turns off. Kent Paul tries to find a workaround, but we hear the voice of Mike Torino over the speakers. He has been trying to reach Carl for some time now. He will need the last favor. We meet with him outside, and he drives to the countryside. The work is easy. Carl has to steal a military jet off an amphibious assault ship and use it to destroy a flotilla of spy ships. Nothing too big. Our protagonist is hesitant, but Torino manages to lure him by offering to see his brother this week. I get to the boat, pick up some gear inside. The process of getting on board is pretty interesting, and I can do everything stealthily. I just go in guns blazing. First, I turn off the anti-air complex so we don't get shot down. Carl goes airborne, and the Navy sends a couple of planes to get rid of Carl. I mess up the controls and blow up the first time. The plane has a target capture system, so I just need to capture my targets and send rockets their way. Enemy jets were easy targets, and I sank all the ships. Mike leaves us with a stolen jet at hand. I have no better idea than to park it on our airstrip. After finishing the mission and getting a sizable reward, I reach Mad Dog's mansion and land the plane on a helipad. It is really useful to be able to take off vertically. Carl works over the phone, organizing everything to make Mad Dog's new album successful. Suddenly, Mike Torino walks into the studio and tells Carl he has one last task. Carl has had enough of his manipulation and points a gun at his head. Torino calmly tells Carl to get the gun out of his face and pick up a call instead. It's sweet. He doesn't know why, but the cops just released him. He's standing in the same place where we picked up OG Locke earlier in the game. Carl is shocked and rushes to pick him up. At first, I wanted to grab a regular car, but I decided to show off and pick a sports car instead. Sweet walks out, and Carl proudly tells him how the Johnsons now own a mansion, have a stake in a casino, and run big business deals in San Fierro. Overall, everything is great. Carl wants to buy some clothes so Sweet can feel like a new man. The brother gets pissed off and tells that Carl hasn't understood. He wants to go to the hood. It is what matters to him. Carl tries to put some sense into his older brother's head, but he wants to go to the hood. My queen said the most real phrase about Sweet. We get to the hood, and some poor soul tries to sell a blender. It is from the boy's mother's house. Everything is messed up, and Carl thought that Sweet would become less interested in the gang life after he sees everything. The older brother states that the hood is his home, and we start clearing it out. We use the gang war mechanic. I talked about it an hour ago. Enemies now use assault rifles and other high-end weapons. It appears that Ballas got those Soviet surpluses by dealing with the Russian mafia. We fend off 3 waves of enemies. Carl invites Sweet to go and see Kendall with him. The older bro tells that she can find him at their family home. Carl states that his brother can be hard to deal with.
Hello, Claude, baby. I thought I called to say how much I love you and how well endowed you are.
Nah, Catalina. It's Carl. I think you got the wrong number.
Oh, Carl. So sorry. It is such an easy mistake to make, especially when I am so light-headed with love and lust.
Yeah, well,
No time. Bye.
We spend the night at Mother's house and see how the extremely skinny girl tries to get Sweet to try the good stuff. She states that all high rollers do that and it takes the pain away. The older brother gets interested in the stuff, but Carl rushes into the living room and asks what the hell Sweet is doing. Carl tries to put some sense into his head, but Sweet states that it is what all gang life leads to. The girl says that Carl will have to deal with B-Dup, but our protagonist sends her on her way. We go to the pusher's home, but only find the low-level dude there. Sweet uses an advanced interrogation tactic to force the dude to talk. We leave Punk to be and conquer the territory around Glen Park. No sign of our friend, but we notice a highly fortified house with a fancy car parked in the driveway. I clear the enemies. Sweet will drop our old friend off at rehab. Back in the mansion, our boys try to teach our white hat dude to resist the urges. Mad Dog says that since it is his time once again, he wants to deal with OG Locke. He finally realized that the whole rhythm that made the Locke popular is from his rhyme book. Carl knows that since he was the one who stole it for the Punk. The boys want to drop by during the Locke public appearance. Our friend fails to keep his urges in check. Carl licks Mad Dog's ass during the drive, and we get there. It appears that Jeffrey gives a live interview just outside the city, boys crush the party, and we get after him in the strange-looking transport. This thing can go on land as well as on water. We discuss some things during the chase, change into cart cars, and get to Locke's crib. Dudes push Locke on being a sham, and his manager appears. He introduces himself, but only Carl works in business concerning Mad Dog. Overall, he is only interested in producing the heats. He was planning to leave Jeffrey by the end of the year. Matt gets his rhymes back, and Locke does not expose Carl for participating in the whole thing. We find Sweet at his house, and he managed to put some guys back together. Sweet wants to put back on the map, but Carl has other responsibilities to take care of. Sweet tells low-level guys to get lost, so as not to create drama. Carl tries to explain that the world is bigger than this hood, but Sweet is not impressed. He says that this is the place where their life began and where it will probably end. Carl gives up, and we go and conquer a couple of territories back from purple dudes. I experienced my first crash during the playthrough. Since the game has a hardcore manual save system, I had to deal with Jeffrey once more. We conquer several hoods and drop off Sweet at his house. The whole inner circle gets together up in the mansion to see the latest news concerning the trial in the Tenpenny case. It appears that our fine officer put his 2 deceased colleagues under the train, and the district attorney just dropped the case. Since Carl went full and beyond to get rid of any loose ends that might get crooked cops exposed, Tenpenny will roam freely. The whole city goes into riot mode. I get to Sweet's house and see an absolute chaos occurring all around town. Some maniac just shoots random folks. Emergency services try to deal with fires, but protesters don't allow them to do the job. The next day, Sweet continues to tell about how awful Carl is. Thankfully, Caesar rushes inside and calls in the favor. He was helping us out a lot, so it's our time to help the Latino dude stabilize his hood. The city is in lockdown, so he thinks that it might be the ideal time to bring his gang back together. Carl says that he needs to help out Sweet to deal with things in our hood. However, Sweets wants Carl to pay his debts. Scissor has only 3 veterans on his side, so we recruit a couple of Groove Street boys. The guys discuss the whole anarchy on the streets, but the interesting thing is that Caesar wants to ask Kendall to marry him. Carl states that Caesar is his brother after the whole story that they went through. Carl has no problems with the marriage and promises to have Caesar back if Sweet gives him any hard time. We get to the Unity station and start pushing through the hood. Local forces have high-end equipment and even a rocket launcher. Some strange dude even got himself a flamethrower. We clear Vagos out, and Caesar is happy to put his gang back on the map. I went to Emmett to see if the old dude would still have our back and got a call from Sweet. Older brother says that we need to conquer enough territories around town to force some of the big smoke guys to talk. I spend the next couple of hours methodically clearing out enemy hoods. Sweet tells us that we have information about the base of operations of our old friend. I pick him up and get to the place. Carl says that he has to have revenge on his own. The police have a firefight with pushers nearby, so we take their armored car and crash inside the base. I make my way through multiple floors and reach an old friend.
Hey, Smoke!
Hey, CJ, I was wondering when you would show up.
How'd you know it was me?
Knew it was my old dog, CJ. Knew you was coming and I don't give a...
I'm here to take care of your fat ass. Then I'm gonna take care of your friends in the police department. Where they at?
Man, this shit. Man, that's some good shit.
Man, you and Tenpenny.
Tenpenny and his Polish lapdog and the police, man. Oh, that's old shit. Look at you, you got the whole world. I ain't got no regrets, man.
Smoke, you had...
I made it, CJ. I'm a success. I can't be touched. I don't the whole world.
What happened to you, man?
Man, what the do you care? I guess we better do this.
Hey, Smoke, what made you flip out like that, man? Was it the drugs or what?
I got caught up in the money, the power. I don't give a shit. Oh, man.
Why you just didn't quit, man? We was like family, homie.
I had no choice. I had to do it. I just see the opportunity. When I'm gone, everyone gonna remember my name. Big Smoke.
Damn, man. What a waste.
Carl Johnson, my man. I need you to do me another favor. You killed Pulaski, now this fat there's no stopping you. Drop the gun.
You ain't leaving here alive, man.
Where's your brother at, huh?
Why you just didn't shoot me in the back? Feeling exposed, huh?
Shut your dumb ass up and load the bag. Come on, let's go. I ain't got time to with you.
So what it's like, Tenpenny, huh? All alone? Nobody got your back?
Why you think I'm alone? I got a couple of rookies outside, but I gotta open their eyes slowly, you know. Little truth here, little truth there. All right, fuck it, that's enough. Chuck it over. I got a fire truck to catch.
You crazy, man. You lost it. You gone.
Half the city's looking for cops to kill, Carl. And I ain't about to get dragged out of a patrol car and get beat to death by some angry mob. No, not tonight.
What you catching? A plane?
Ding, 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 ding! Good answer, Carl! You know, you're gonna thank me one day for opening your eyes. Oh, I almost forgot, Carl. Time to die.
Sweet!
What? It ain't over, Carl. It ain't over.
He leaves, and Carl has to escape the burning base. Sweet is not going to let the cop get away, and we get there to ensure that our brother is alive.
Come on, assholes! I'll take you all! You're mine! Mine! I run this town! Hey! Over here! Hey! Officer down, come on! Hey! You never understood what I did. 50 of me, and this town would be okay. I took the trash out. I did. And I do it all again.
Don't do it, man. He's gone.
I just want to be sure it's over, man. That's all.
It's cool. Don't need to put a bullet in it. Traffic accident. No one to blame. Let's roll.
I mean, far out, man. You know, I mean, you beat the system. I tried for 30 years to cross over, but you managed it, man. I mean, man, you're an icon, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm just glad it's finally over.
What's up with Smoke?
You know what's up with Smoke. He always saw things a little different than us.
Smoke? Smoke was always on his own, always out for self.
That is the surest path to hell, man. Well, without our 15 microdots and an ounce of mescaline.
Let's go get something to eat.
Sounds good to me.
See you around, officer. Hey, now that everything is cool, we gotta stay on top of our game. Keep everything in check, but subtle.
We got problems in Venturas, problems in San Fierro. Never ending.
For sure. I mean, the family's back on their feet, but we gotta keep shit tight. Because a lot of people has got their eyes on us.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I come in peace with Mr. Dog here, who has an announcement.
Our first gold record!
Yeah,
baby!
Yes,
I'm talking about. Yeah, they heard about it.
I decided to get breast implants.
Loco, ese.
Joke on.
Anyway, what's next?
We should hit the casinos, roll some dice with Woozy.
Nah, we gotta take care of shit here first.
We going on tour, fam!
Has anyone got a tissue? My nose it won't stop running. Is that, anybody?
Yeah, I have. Over there.
I'll pass.
Carl, where are you off to now?
Finna hit the block. See what's happening.
Well, it was GTA San Andreas. It was fantastic to revisit this old great game, and I'm happy that you watched this big video. Check out the rest GTA videos in the playlist, or check out my videos on other video games. I hope you will like it as well. Have a fantastic day, and take care.